I was working at places like Cafe Rio, Amazon. Is when we found out that we had the baby on the way. I was at 28,000 after. Once we were actually in my leadership, it was at 156,000. One of the biggest things is just being like composed and knowing exactly what I'm gonna say to pretty much anything they say.
But so, do you remember what you ended up doing in 2024?
I think I was at like,
That's 30x what you were doing.
obviously with your approach is what made it so literally like life-changing money to now where I'm able to take care of my family.
Before becoming an agent, again, what were you doing as far as before joining the insurance industry?
Yeah, so I was just kind of going like from job to job. So I was working at places like Cafe Rio, Amazon. I did Hershey's on the strip as well as a cashier.
Mhm.
And the last thing I was doing was just DoorDash to try to make ends meet.
And how long ago was that?
I think it was like the like 2021, 2022-ish, I'd say.
Right.
I think.
And then you joined the industry in middle of 22? It
Yeah.
was in
Yeah, I think or like early 22.
okay. And what
Yeah.
what made you get into it? And like what was your ultimate decision that said let me
Um
sell some
yeah, so
insurance?
yeah, so basically that's when I had found out that like maybe like a week or two before is when we found out that we had the baby on the way.
Mhm.
So I was obviously like, damn, I need to make way more money than what I was doing at the other jobs.
Right.
And at that point, when I seen that like the possibility to even make the high income, and then two that you didn't need like a college degree or I didn't need anything like that, that's what made me like go into the opportunity.
Nice, nice. And what was your, because even there was a small like mull period before, you jumped in, because you jumped into the insurance industry and then you weren't obviously directly working with me at that point or Dave for that matter. So what was your income calculated for that year that you were not working with me? And what was your average income that you were doing in years prior?
Yeah, so years prior, I was probably like anywhere from like 12 to 15,000. My first year at USHA, when I wasn't like under either of your guys' leadership, I was at 28,000 and some change for the year. Yeah, so the year directly after, once you were actually in my leadership, it was at 156,000 and some change.
Nice, nice, nice,
Yes.
nice. And what would you, I guess, overall say that I helped you with the most?
I think the biggest things were definitely like scheduling my time as a salesperson, as a business owner, how to actually use my time wisely, as well as investing was something that you helped me out with, and not just like putting the money, but where to put the money to put it in the best spot to leverage it so I'm getting the highest return. I think also like sales techniques too. I think the way that you approached it, where I think initially I was doing a lot of like like trying to just sell and like convince people like they do in the movies type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're
Wall
kind of like,
Street.
yeah, Wolf of Wall Street, yeah. But like you saying like your calm approach, be more like having a more like systematic approach, and definitely like I feel like the calmness is like one of the biggest things. Is just being like composed and knowing exactly what I'm gonna say, to pretty much anything they say, and being more
Mm-hmm.
prepared is what led it so I can definitely get like way more sales at that point.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I think that was probably the biggest because when you first jumped on board, I always said you had the potential because you had the ability to work as many hours as it took. But obviously, it was more about working efficient for someone like you because you always had that knack for having that ability to sell. It was just tweaking a few things for you. I
Yeah,
feel like once you got that, I think what you said, 150,000 is what you made. That was 2023.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The year
and then
after.
obviously, even 2024 was a big year for you as well, I'm sure,
Yeah.
as far as income itself. Do you remember what you ended up doing in 2024?
I think I was at like 187 and
Yeah.
some change, but I haven't
Yeah.
done the
So
last month yet.
I mean, in 2 years' time, you made what, 300,000,
Yeah.
and that's what,
Right.
30x what you were doing, 20x.
Yeah.
I'm not good at math, but
Yeah.
20, 30x your normal income when you weren't in the insurance industry, which is phenomenal. Obviously, that was you ended up being one of the top producers as well. You ended up, what was that week that you had
It's
in November,
December, December. December.
December? You
Yeah,
broke the
December.
record.
Yes, 250,000.
And what was your check that week?
23,000.
Good God.
Yeah.
That's more, that was more than what you made in an entire year's worth of what?
That's just about 2 years combined.
If people were on the fence about working with me, what would you tell them?
Yeah, so I'd say that just you just gotta take the leap of faith. I'd say even me initially, I mean you can attest to this. When I first moved off of that team that I was originally on for the year where I made 30,000, I was like, emotional about it. I was just like, I don't know if this is gonna be the right thing. Just having that change, and then obviously that literally one of that major change, or actually slight change, is having a new leader. Obviously, with your approach, is what made it so literally like life changing money to now where I'm able to take care of my family. We have a house, car, like all the stuff that I need to take care of my family. So it was even for me, it's not even just about like the numbers. It literally changed my life personally, and like to the point where it was literally like no one else in my family can live the lifestyle that I'm able to live with my family now, just off of having you as a leader. So I say just take the leap of faith, and if you take everything and actually apply it to what you're doing, that you're gonna, no matter what, you'll see results just off of using like the same philosophies that you've teach. If they use those exact same things, I would say if you're gonna take the leap, you're not gonna want to take the leap and then do 5% or think that your way is the right way. Just take the leap, trust in it 100%, and then it'll come back tenfold.
Much appreciated. Well, that's pretty much all that we had here at this time. Obviously, your transition from, like I mentioned, from coming in as an 18-year-old kid and then flourishing to someone that's, 2, 3 years later to making 300,000 combined in 2 years time. And now the foundation is set. So even if you consistently make 150,000 for the next 2, 3, 4 years, it's not only are you benefiting from the actual checks that you're getting on a weekly basis, but it's the residual component that's assisting you with that as well. And obviously with that being said, like I said, I mean, you were one of the bright spots of the team as well, back when we were working together, and that's where I obviously appreciate the time that you taking out of your day to knock this call out as well. But
Appreciate
um,
you, bro.